Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another deck tech of a commander that's showing up in Commander Master set that's due out soon. It's another one I haven't covered before on the channel, and it is obviously, as you know, because you're here watching the video, Neheb the Eternal, 3 and double red for a 4/6 legendary creature zombie minotaur warrior. It's a mouthful. Has a flicked 3, so whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. That's important because at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, add 1 red mana for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Now, I've done some checking on this and I hope I've got it right, so bear with me if it's gone wrong. I understand that damage counts as life loss for Neheb, is how I understand it at the moment. Therefore, it's a red deck with a lot of burn in it. So, mana base, loads and loads of mountains. We have got Nykthos in here. We've got Sukazan, the Crucible of Defiance. We've got Temple of the False God, and we've got Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle. Might as well have Valakut in here because most of the mana base is mountains. But then we've got Mines of Moria to create some treasure tokens if we need them. Keep to give us some blockers if we need them. Hanwha and just the Hanwha battlements. We haven't gone with the garrison in this deck because didn't seem a lot of point. But this does give a creature haste for 1 red mana and a tap. Fabled Passage just to get those mountains out, and Dwarven Mine, which is also a mountain, so it counts for Valakut, but if we've got 3 other mountains in play, we get a dwarf token. Cope with that. The rest of it, Mox Tantalite, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fire Diamond, Ruby Medallion, Extra Planar Lens, and since we've got Nykthos in here, we might as well have Nyx Lotus as well, just to make sure that we are getting that lovely kind of devotion-y type stuff when we hit the mana. So, if I've done my reading correctly, and I understand I have, and I haven't gone anywhere and checked this out, apart from making sure that what I thought was correct, doing damage to your opponent means that counts as life loss, so you get extra red mana once Neheb's in play at the beginning of your next post-combat main phase. So, lots of direct damage spells, starting with Burst Lightning, Lightning Bolt, Shock, Spike Field Hazards here as well, that does 1, and Wild Slash, so whole load of shocks, whole load of other things, and bolts. Faithless Looting's there just so we can draw some cards and discard some. If we get too many lands in our hand, we can discard them, draw some extra damage, hopefully. But then we've got Dockside Extortionist. It's a red deck, come on, I was going to have it in here. We've got Firebrand Archer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, so more damage. Grape Shot. I just like Great Shot and like Storm. I think we'll be able to storm off on this deck, so hopefully we'll get this off for quite a bit. Incendiary Flow is another damage spell, along with Lightning Strike, Magma Jet, and then we've got a few creatures in between. So Kessig Flame Breather is another one that does damage when we cast a non-creature spell, so that counts our artifacts as well as our instants and sorceries and our enchantments, so that's cool. Thermo Alchemist, whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, we get to untap it, and then it taps to do 1 damage. And it's a 0/3 blocker with Defender, so it's not overly sad in the first place. And yeah, Young Pyromancer's in here. We're casting a lot of instants and sorceries. I might as well try and get some elementals while I'm at it. Going from there, we've got Chaos Warp, just to get rid of something that's annoying us, and hopefully not replace it with something even more annoying. Cunning Spark Mage is... not sure this should be in the deck, to be honest, but it's got haste. It can tap for a point of damage. Yes, it only gives us 1 mana, so I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. Gutter Snipe, on the other hand, deals 2 damage to each opponent. Yeah, that works. Excuse me. Levali Cultist of Tiamat's also here. We might as well try and pump our creatures up to get more damage in when things are happening. Professional Facebreaker. Whenever we deal combat damage to a player, we get to create a treasure token, and then we get to sacrifice a treasure, exile top card of our library, and play at that turn if we need to. Rift Bolt is just to suspend and shoot someone for 3. Obviously, you don't want to suspend it until you've got Neheb in play, and hopefully you kept Neheb in play, so we'll see. Soul's Fire, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. Well, that's 4 at minimum, maybe 6 if we're lucky. And then Chandra. There's a lot of Planeswalkers in this deck, I have to say that. Chandra, the Fire of Kaladesh, is also here. Whenever you cast a red spell, untap Chandra. So you're going to pay 3 for this, tap it to ping someone in your next turn, play something, untap it, play something else, keep doing it that way. You want to just make sure you get the 3 damage in from Chandra. It's a little bit easier with one of the cards we've got coming up, I'll be honest. But then it transforms into the Roaring Flame, and you get 2 damage to target player or planeswalker, 2 damage to target creature, or -7, deals 6 damage to each opponent. Each player dealt damage this way gets an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 3 damage to you. I like that plan. I'd really love to get Chandra Roaring Flame flipped and up to the 7 as soon as possible, so a lot of protection will be going on for Chandra. Exquisite Firecraft, 3 mana sorcery, deals 4 to anything. And then if you've got a couple of instants or sorceries in your graveyard already, it can't be countered, which could be useful. As far as I'm aware, the can't be countered gets around ward costs as well, but I'd need to check that out. If you know, let me know in the comments down below when you've finished watching the rest of the video. I'd appreciate it. Fiery Temper, yep, 3 damage to anything, extra plane lens I've mentioned. Here we go, Planeswalkers, Chandra the Firebrand, +1, ping something. Okay. Or, you know, copy the instant sorcery spell we play next for -2, which is probably what we'll do most of the time, to be fair. Pyromancer's Assault, because we have got quite a lot of cheap spells in the deck, and we're going to be making a lot of extra mana, so we should be able to get 2 damage off this when we cast our second spell each turn. Chain Reaction helps us control the board. Chandra, Torch of Defiance, does the whole exile the top card, 4 damage, or more importantly, probably add 2 mana. So this only costs us 2 when we cast it. Koth of the Hammers here, +1 for the mountain to get into extra damage if we need to, or -2 to get a whole load of red mana. If we can get to the -5, even better. And I will probably try the -5. But Koth of Fire Resistance is even better if we can get to -7, because it gives us basically a better Valakut. And this also helps us search out the mountains we need. So, you know, yeah, I'll cope with that. Maniform Hellkite gives us some creatures to attack with as we cast all our non-creature spells. The other version of Neheb's in here, Neheb Dreadhorde Champion, deals combat damage to a player or a planeswalker may discard any number of cards. If you do, draw that many cards and add that much red mana. Until the end of turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end, which is very helpful. Solfim Mayhem Dominus also makes an appearance. It doubles up our damage from non-combat sources. Torath, God of Fury, whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, Torath deals damage equal to the excess to any target other than that permanent. Excellent, yeah, well, the permanent's dead. Or if you need the hammer, you can have the hammer and do the hammer time thing if you really want to. Urabrask makes an appearance as well. We're getting into the old March of the Machines here. This comes back in. We will be casting lots of instants of sorceries. Activate only as a sorcery and only if you've cast 3 or more instants and all sorcery spells this turn. But once you get it flipped into the Great Work, it becomes very hard for your opponent to win the game, believe me. And Torbrand. Yep, red sources deal that much damage +2. Lightning Bolt anybody to each opponent? Yep, okay. Nyx Lotus I've mentioned. Alina, Keswick Trapper also makes an appearance. We've got a first striker for 5 mana. It's not the greatest stats, 4/3 for a 5 mana with first strike, but the tap ability is very useful and very relevant. Gives us all that extra mana. You know, add an amount of red equal to the greatest power among creatures you control that enter the battlefield this turn. So, you know, even if you're casting Neheb or you're getting one of the other things in play, it's worth doing. Arcblade is here just for the suspend, so we keep going in. You know, you get to exile it, do 2 damage, suspend. You're probably going to suspend it as soon as you can for 3 mana, and then just start reaping the benefits from there. Burn the House Down gives us some blockers or deals with the board if we don't like it. Fire Servant, if a red instant or sorcery spell you control would deal damage, it deals double that damage instead. This is going to be a target for most removal spells your opponents have, which makes it easier for Neheb to survive, because people will just chuck removal at this because it is that dangerous. It's one of the reasons we have Elixir of Immortality in the deck. Excuse me. Sakara the Bold, 3 mana, 5 mana for a 3/3, sorry. But whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell you control deals damage to a player, exile the top card of your library and play that card this turn. Or you can just tap him and ping something and he'll do it then for you. Terror of the Peaks, we've got enough creatures. We're only playing 23 creatures. We've probably got enough to make Terror of the Peaks worthwhile. Plus it's kind of got a ward 3 life type thing on it. So, yeah. Jaya Ballard is also in just to give us some extra mana to cast those instants and sorceries, or we can discard and draw. Chance to get into the -8, very remote. If we do, great. If we don't, oh well. Pyromancer's Goggles is very good. Tap, add red. When that mana is spent to cast an instant, red instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell and you may choose new targets for that copy. Makes all our instants and sorceries that much better. Arcane Bombardment. I figure we might as well try and run it out again from the streets of New Capenna and see if we can actually get the random exiling to happen and give us some benefits. Chandra Awakening, it gives us an emblem, so everyone takes 1 damage, which means we're going to get at least 3 mana, hopefully, if all the opponents are still in play off Neheb, if I've got my maths right. The Flames Catalyst is also here, and this is even better because it comes into play. +1 deals 3 damage to everybody. If you do that in your main phase, that's 9 mana if I've got it right and I've read the understanding of it right. Combustible Gear Hulk will either give you cards or give you mana, depending which way it happens. And Inferno of the Star Mounts can't be countered. Get in. Hopefully we can pump it quite a bit and maybe get up to 20 damage, 20 power if we've got 14 mana kicking around. Could be fun. Bedlam Revelers here because we've got so many instants of sorceries we should be able to cast it for the reduced cost of 2 red mana and then discard whatever we've got left on our hand, which is hopefully nothing, and draw 3 cards. Blasphemous Act helps us control the board a little bit more, and then we've got 2 big things to finish off the game with, well, finish off the deck tech with anyway. Explosive Singularity. Don't know if we're going to cast it for 10. I would guess we'd be casting it for 6 most of the time so we can tap some of our untapped creatures, which is quite cool. But 10 damage to anyone's great. And then if you've done the 10 damage, got the 10 mana, if I've got it right in my head, then Apex of Power will probably win you the game. Exile top 7 cards to your library, get 10 red mana, cast all those spells and get on with it. But this is Neheb. As I said yesterday, said previously, I'm on holiday at the moment. She's not going to be able to see this stream this week. Next stream will be the 13th of August. So you can come and check me out then on Twitch. There's a link down below. But what I'd really appreciate is if you can hit the subscribe button, leave me a sub. 220 as I record this video, so I'm hoping we'll get that up a little bit while I'm on holiday. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Catch you later. Bye.